Hello. Today we're going to work on a simple example to learn how to do simulation. But in the next episode, we're going to learn other important applications of Simulink. Well, here in order to do modeling, you have two options. First, you can go to this part, new model. As you can see, the name new model here, or even you can go to file, and here we have new, as you can see, model, or you can push control N here. Also, if you had a system that have been simulated before and you want to call it and do more work on it and more changes on it, you can use this part, open model, or even you can go to file and do that. Well, here I want to the new modeling. I push it, and as you can see, this is my new window. As you can see, there's nothing here, and its title is untitled. But after doing your project, you can rename it. Here, you should pay attention that bring any block you want in this blank window. I mean block, the meaning of block here means any tool that you want to use in your project. All of these parts and icons are blocks. For example, in the first part of Simulink, as I said, it's a general library and can be applied in most of the fields and majors that you can use them. And this library categorizes different parts here. For example, commonly used blocks. Here, if you see this part, you can see, for example, constant block, or here we have a scope for output, or max block that are common in our project. Also, we have more detailed block and library that is continuous, and then we have discontinuous. Also, we have other specialized libraries too. For primary simulation, here I want to simulate some function and see its output. Here I want to add up, for example, two constant number. So here we need constant block, and we should use it. Pay attention that in order to move the blocks, we can right click on the block and use add to a new model that you can see here. If we had other title, its name would be changed also. Here we have constant block here. Because I want to add up two numbers, I should have two constant blocks. So here I right click and copy it. We have the other block that we needed here is sum block. I add it here. As you can see, it has two inputs and one output. Each arrow in Simulink means that you can put signal into them. Signal means the connection of two blocks. For each concept, block and signal, we have two separate episodes that we will learn them later. As you can see, these arrows means that you can enter signal to them. And or even we can exit the signals or take them out. The another point about adder is that here, for example, we have two inputs for adder. We have more arrows. For example, if we want to add up 10 numbers, you can double click on the adder, and as you can see here, there are two symbols. If I increase the symbols, we can enter more numbers to our adder. Also, we can change its shape, for example, rectangular or round. But here we have round. Now change it to rectangular. Also, now by dragging it, we can change its size. Now, because we have two inputs, we decrease our inputs to 2. I remove 2. Okay. As you can see, our signals come from two constants, and as you can see, I connect them to each other, the output to the input. By left click and dragging the mouse or cursor, I can connect them or connect the blocks to each other. Now, as you can see, there are two constant blocks and connected to the sum block. For changing the input amount, I double click, and as you can see here, I can change the constant value. You can enter any amount. For example, here I enter 5 and click on OK, or there are some other parts that we'll explain them later, but now I click on OK, and here I enter -8. As you saw, if here you have a block that you don't know its function, you can have its information and details here. If by double clicking on the block, you can have this information. Also, there are its options of changing the functions. Now we need the block of displaying outputs. For displaying the signals, we go to Sinks library. In the next episode, we will explain these blocks and these functions and libraries more. But here I added a display block to my model. Now I connect them to each other. Now our system has been simulated, and it's a primary project. It's a simple system here. In order to fit our system with the window of model, I click on this part, or we use this part, this icon, fit to model. If you want to zoom in or zoom out, also first you can use the zoom icon here, as you can see, or you can use the mouse. As you can see, like this, I'm zooming in or out. Now, in order to implement model, there are some points, important points. First is the time of simulation, the time that you specified, and also the type of simulation. That most of the times we use the normal type. And the important part is that you should click on this part or run in order to have your simulation see the results. Here, because our system is dependent, it is not necessary to have a time deadline. But if your system is dependent to the time, you should set a specific time to have your simulation. But if I click on run, as you can see, the Simulink started the simulation. As you can see, here is the output. Now after simulation the system, you can use here save or go to file and use save as. Here I save most of the examples. Here I click on save, or even you can click on save as. Then I save it as example 1 and with MDL suffix. Here there are two suffixes that they are based on the save, but the most common suffix here in Simulink is MDL. But in next episodes we will talk about saving in more details.